I'm from India and I have been part of several of the struggles which my friend Joe talked about as the national convener of National Alliance of People's Movements. I'll be talking about one of the case studies out of the numerous coal mines, bauxite mines, and several other extractive projects. What I'm going to talk about is about a central tract of forest called Hasdeo and Lemru Elephant Reserve. Now these two are intertwined. I will come to that, but this is what the struggle is about. Next slide. And the location of the site we are talking about is there. It's in the center of India. The green color is the state of Chhattisgarh, and the proposed Lemru Elephant Reserve is that small dot there, where most of there are several mines which are located there, coal mines. And if you look, the whole center of India is also the area inhabited by indigenous people, who in India we call them Adivasis. The next slide. What do the Hasdeo forests look like? So they are one of the biggest contiguous forests of nearly 170,000 hectares, so 1,700 square kilometers. Home to 15,000 Adivasi families, so roughly 75 to 80,000 people. Overall, 400 species, if you count, including reptiles, mammals, birds, trees, different kinds, and some of them very rare. So it's an area full of the biodiversity, and also under protected schedule of the country. So there are several conservation laws under which they are protected. There is also significant elephant presence. That's why the elephant reserve has come in some ways to help to the people when we are fighting these coal mines which are proposed there. After several years of contestation, a 1995 square kilometer of elephant reserve which has come to be notified. But we all know that you can notify an area doesn't mean that it will always be protected, because tomorrow they will change the law. So this boundary, which is 1995, bigger than the state forest currently, has changed over a period of time. And we still are not sure that it will remain at that. This forest also serves as a catchment area of Hasdeo River. There is a dam there, so Hasdeo Bango Reservoir. And this Chhattisgarh is a state which produces a lot of rice. So this area is also rich in rice cultivation. And next slide. This is what it looks like. Earlier, before the mine existed, it was full of rich biodiversity, forest, dense forest you can see. And that's the very next one, the way it looks like now. This area has also significant coal deposits, so 5.6 billion tons, that's quite a big number. And they have proposed 23 coal blocks, which are at various stages of development. There are two mines which are operational. They are run by Adani. We just heard about what the Adani story is. They own those two. And there are two mines which have been allocated and received clearance with the land acquisition and forest clearance which is in progress. There are 19 others which are in the different stages of allocation, planning, or at times they get cancelled, but then the government changes and then they are back on the track. So it's always up and down. The story keeps moving every now and then. Next slide, please. Now, what is the past experience with the operational mining process? There are two already which are operating in the area. What we do see is that most of the mines, so there are natural, we have been talking about the rights of nature. So the indigenous community who live there, they have their traditional community rights. And most of them, by law, the corporations as well as government have to ask their permission before they can acquire any land or before they can cut trees or anything. What they do is, requiring their permission means that the village council have to sit down, come together and pass a resolution and see that how does that work. Give them permission. But this is always, most of the time, it's falsely claimed. either by hook or by crook, and they just get the permission. It's illegal. They have been challenged in various forms of the court, and still they continue to go on with the do. Next slide, please. People have been resisting since 2010. There have been several. The next slide, please. There have been several marches, there have been village councils held, there have been challenges in the Supreme Court, legal challenges, all the existing laws and things have been used. There are several depositions which have been made, but still the two coal mines continue. It's because of the resistance, as I said, the Elephant Reserve was announced, so there is some protection for now at the moment. My colleague Alok Shukla, who just received the Convener Award for the Hasdeo and Sangharsh Samiti on behalf of that. He's not here because he's on the ground resisting the forest destruction at the moment. Next slide, please. Now, what Joe just mentioned, that what happens, so one, there is illegal, people getting illegally arrested, or like falsely giving permission, but also we heard about the Pegasus software. So Alok, my colleague, his phone was bugged with the Pegasus software. The political parties who have been supporting the struggle, their phones have been bugged. Several of them have been arrested. The journalists who have been covering this, their phones were bugged by the Pegasus software. So this goes very deep, and there have been several exposes in the New York Times, several other international media has covered it, that if you are against Adani, you are not safe. Even me here speaking, we don't know what the consequences will be, but people keep talking about it because you need to talk about it. Next one. What will be the consequences of losing? We all know what will happen. We saw one slide where the biodiversity, we just lost it. But there's also increase in human-wildlife conflict, or because we are destroying their habitats, so many elephants, tigers, they are all moving into the area, and then finally it's creating a lot of trouble for everyone. It's also loss of river, water, pollution, livelihood, and everything. Lastly, what we are asking for you, we have a list of things what we are asking from but basically what we want is the rights people have, let that be respected. Free, prior, informed consent, which is there in the law, not only national, international as well, but let that be interpreted. So whenever we are at the international forums or any other forums, we make sure that these are there. This is what every other case study is saying. And the corporations, they need to be put on check. They need to be put on notice that their time is over. Thank you.